It's 8 o'clock. Breakfast is being served at Ellen's downtown.
I'm Todd Boatwright. This is your Spectrum News in 90. The Texas Department of Transportation is kicking off the Click It or Ticket campaign next week. They say wearing a seatbelt reduces the risk of dying in a car wreck. Texas law officials will be stepping up enforcement starting this Monday through June 4th. A fallen hero card crafted by Alaska Airlines maintenance employees to honor all fallen military members is being delivered to San Antonio's International Airport. The card can be used by all airlines to transport the remains of the deceased with respect and honor to and from an aircraft. A special handoff ceremony will take place on Monday. And Dallas police are investigating the fatal shooting of a security guard. Police say the guard was shot trying to stop a man from breaking into a car in a parking garage. He died at the hospital. The suspect's vehicle was found. Anyone with information is asked to call 214-605-4691.
Okay, the 3-day forecast, cloudy for Sunday, generally dry. There might be an isolated shower, but it wouldn't cancel any outdoor plans. Highs in the upper 70s, but it's really going to get warm for the upcoming week. Highs should be well into the 80s with just a slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm. I think as we head towards the middle of the week, that opportunity will be the highest. We'll have a good look, though, at your extended weather coming up at 11 past the hour. We'll see you then. Past the
Hello, thank you for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Todd Boatwright. We begin today in Dallas, where city leaders are giving an update on how they plan to keep kids safe this summer. This past week, the mayor and police chief spoke about the city's Summer of Safety campaign. It encourages young people to participate in the city's low-cost activities, something the mayor hopes will move Dallas closer to its main goal of being the safest big city in America.
Summer is a particularly challenging time. We all know that. Like historically, the data has shown that that is when crime, and particularly youth crime, goes up. The whole point of the Summer of Safety was to make sure that we didn't have to create very much, if any, new programming because we already had it.
So Dallas kids ages 13 to 17 can participate in the city's summer program. The police department also offers youth programming throughout the summer. Meanwhile, Dallas city officials are still trying to figure out how to get body cameras for code compliance officers. Michael Lozano shows us how it could add an extra layer of security and protection.
There's nearly $500,000 on the table for the sanitation and code compliance services in Dallas to provide their inspectors with body cameras, but it's something that isn't implemented just yet, even though it'll provide them with an extra sense of security and safety.
If you can meet me there, and then we'll get that taken care of.
In Dennis Broadnack's line of work,
There's cars back there? Oh, no, not cars, just along the street.
person-to-person interaction is essential.
Just letting them know kind of what we found in the rear of the property, just asking them to kind of clean it up.
Dennis says with that, there always comes a risk, especially when answering calls like illegal dumping, overgrown yards, or other code violations. Code compliance tells us they've dealt with 11 verbal or physical assaults in the last 3 years.
We're going on to people's properties who typically just aren't as inviting. They're not looking forward to us a lot of times.
It's why he's eager to see his inspectors using these body cameras. The city approved nearly $500,000 for this technology in this current fiscal year.
It adds that extra layer of protection both for our personnel but also for the people that we serve as well.
So why aren't the cameras being put to use? The city says it's all about the logistics, from ensuring the privacy of residents to what kind of policy inspectors will need to follow.
So naturally, you're going to have a pushback by citizens that are going to say, I don't want somebody with a body cam coming into my property.
Dr. Alex Del Carmen is a criminologist at Tarleton State University. He says while body cameras can provide a more accurate account of incidents, privacy should be a nationwide concern.
That individual just caught that incident on video and became a witness to that incident.
But Dr. Del Carmen believes this will hold both inspectors and residents accountable. While Dennis wants to see the cameras out in the field, he knows that it'll take some time.
I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure that it's done correctly.
Something he's more than okay with if it means an extra sense of security.
A North Texas CEO and pastor believes he has what it takes to be the next commander-in-chief. Libby Zapata introduces us to Republican candidate Ryan Binkley.
She is an incredible leader, mother, communicator. I fell in love with her because her heart for the Lord was so big. I remember just going like, this woman, I really need to get to know more.
27 years later, Ryan and Ellie Binkley are now the parents of 5 and together co-pastor Create Church in Richardson. The couple is now gearing up for Ryan's campaign for president.
This is the very first time we've all gathered together as an announced candidate.
Ryan invited Spectrum News 1 and about 40 friends and family to a phone canvassing event to let voters know about his vision for the country.
You know, we've been through so much division. We've had so much of a culture where there's been, you know, anger and divisive culture. And we're going to bring our country back to this place where we're respecting each other, loving each other.
On the way to show me his church, the 55-year-old Republican candidate shared his announcement to run for president is a dream that's been in the works for the last 8 years.
Really, the leading up to the announcement was a lot of work. Our team put a lot of work into that whole event. We had it at UTD right here in Richardson.
Ryan's plans include focusing on the country's debt and health care, along with border issues. He also has a strong stance against abortion and same-sex marriage, which can be found on his church's website.
Comprehensive immigration reform. We've not had any of it in the last 50 years. So it's not just about securing the southern border. It's also about what are we doing about the immigrants that are here. We have 15 million migrant workers here. They're kind of living in the shadows. We have to make some decisions that are careful.
Only one man has doubled as commander-in-chief and a minister. That was the nation's 20th president, James Garfield. Ellie tells me she's confident her husband will make history by being the second pastor to turn president.
And I've been reading about first ladies.
Ryan says Ellie has been a huge part of his success thus far and would be a voice for issues including suicide prevention and making adoption more affordable.
I think as first lady, I would really want to bring hope to our children, to the younger generation, and bring light to what's going on in the foster care system.
It's time for us to believe in the greatness of America, believe in our greatest days are ahead of us. Let's believe that we can be unified, we can solve our biggest problems together, and our best days are ahead.
Well, the pause on student loan payments is ending, adding to the financial stress some folks are dealing with. Coming up, we'll see how one Texan's helping to alleviate that pressure.
Hey everybody, I'm Carla Leal. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Across the state, Texans are struggling to get the mental health care they need. On the next In Focus, Texas will speak with state lawmakers and mental health advocates about what they're doing to improve the mental health of Texans. You don't want to miss it, so join us Sunday or set your DVR for all the details. I'll see you then.
Today at Zilker Park, where folks from across the state of Texas are coming together for this.
At Spectrum News, we're committed to our communities around the clock, delivering stories that inspire and news that matters in your community. Our journalists are dedicated to bringing you trusted, balanced local news every day. And now, Spectrum Internet-only customers, you can watch Spectrum News 1 on your TV, connecting you to your community 24/7. Spectrum News, now streaming exclusively for Spectrum customers.
So this one-size-fits-all network upgrade is the best you guys can do?
That's accurate. Accurate. Better than that, it's the only thing we do.
That's how we know it's right for you.
We get it. Ask for the technology you need, and they call you unreasonable. At Spectrum Enterprise, we call you something else, our kind of client. So go ahead. Be unreasonable.
My old days are gone. That's why I'm
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Texas holds a very special place in both my heart and my family's heart as well. My dad started in the news business in 1955, so my dad was my idol. He was my mentor. I spent so much time in that world. I knew I just had to be a part of it. My life's purpose has been about informing, educating, and most importantly, connecting with people. It has been my passion to help people and make a difference in people's lives. I'm Brett Shipp, anchor, Spectrum News 1.
Weather on the Ones, presented by Lentz Landscape Lighting.
Hey everybody, Jake Parrish here with your weather forecast. Thanks for stopping by. We had some decent rain over the last week or so, and drought conditions improved, particularly in East Texas. West Texas, not so much. You can still see we need rainfall, and believe it or not, over the next week or so, this is a location that probably has the best probability of picking up some rainfall. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Futurecast Sunday morning around 7. Notice some scattered rain showers across the hill country and kind of flirting down into the valley as well. Extreme East Texas, pretty quiet, just some cloud coverage. Notice as we head into the afternoon, that activity begins to wind down, but then dry lines setting up across West Texas with a broken line of scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then that activity begins to wind down as we look ahead to Monday morning, maybe a spotty shower in East Texas, nothing heavy or widespread. And then Monday afternoon, again, I think West Texas will see another round of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. So again, over the next week or so, West Texas has the best chance of picking up some precipitation. Central and East Texas, it looks like definitely more spotty in nature. And I think a lot of that activity will be kind of limited to the midday and afternoon hours, early evening in that max heating time of the day. And then we should see temperatures start to warm up as well for the upcoming work week. And that actually, I think, will head into the upcoming long holiday weekend as well. So 3-day forecast looking ahead to Sunday, say San Antonio, maybe a few showers, temperatures in the upper 70s. Same thing in Austin and up into Dallas as well. A little warmer out in El Paso. Slight chance of a shower thunderstorm in the afternoon. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s. Corpus, mid 80s, maybe a spotty shower, nothing heavy or widespread. And same story down in the valley. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, isolated shower, and afternoon highs in the upper 80s.
More people are moving to Dallas. According to new numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau, the city has added more than 170,000 people, making it the 4th largest metropolitan area in the country. Nearly 8 million residents currently live in the area. And with that population growth comes a need for more schools. It's the reason some Texas school districts are proposing new bonds to help ease overcrowding. JJ Maldonado explains.
Clearly the growth it's coming and it's already here.
Terry Purdy is a mom of 2 students at Dripping Springs ISD. She's talking about how rapidly the city, which is only miles away from Austin, is growing.
We have a lot of schools that are overcrowded right now. We have 2 elementary schools that are at least 20% over capacity. We have this middle school, it's also over capacity.
Terry says the building of new homes in the city has resulted in more families moving in and more students enrolled at the district. As a PTA president, she's also heard from many parents on their concerns.
When we come here and spend a lot of money investing in a house here and then we don't get all of the opportunities that we were expecting to get, it's hard on us. You know, we made a pretty big life change and we really want to have every opportunity that, that students have been able to get here in the past.
In April, the district addressed the issue with an internal temporary transfer program. Parents can move their student from one of the overcrowded schools into a campus with additional room. The district says they have grown nearly 4,000 students in the last decade. Voters have addressed the issue with the passing of a $223 million bond, which would include projects like construction of a new elementary school and security upgrades for existing campuses. A statement from the district superintendent on DSISD's website says, quote, "Building our next elementary school, expanding one of our middle schools, and addressing key maintenance needs on several campuses will help us enable to continue successfully serve the students of DSISD." Terry says while the city continues to grow, she's staying ahead of the change and focusing on the quality of education for her children.
We all want, every parent wants their kid to start off on the right foot. You know, we moved out here to Dripping Springs for the school district, and it's very important to me.
Meanwhile, a Texas professor failed a group of students after finding out they used artificial intelligence to write their papers. Dr. Jared Mumm at Texas A&M Commerce says he copied and pasted the students' most recent essays into ChatGPT and asked it to detect if any AI software was used. The chatbot then claimed it authored every essay that was submitted. However, university officials say they have spoken with the students involved and are not failing them or withholding their diplomas. Well, later this year, Texans will have to go back to making payments on their student loans. Texas has some of the highest rates of student debt in the country, and one Texan's looking to help people navigate their repayment. Here's Amber Hughes.
Javier Garza has been a middle school art teacher for nearly 30 years.
Painting and drawing and writing stories, and we're just working with kids.
Becoming an educator came at a cost. Like 43 million Americans, he took out student loans.
Went and got my master's also, and so, you know, it all ended up adding up. Before I knew it, I owed like $42,000.
According to a Lending Tree report, Texans owe $124 billion in student loans. The average Texas borrower is $41,000 in debt.
It just seemed like just couldn't seem to get out from under the loan.
Saving our clients an average of $87,000 with 103% savings.
Christina Randall is the president and CEO of My Education Solutions in San Antonio. They specialize in helping people navigate student loan forgiveness.
There would be student loans resuming September 1st, whether or not the legal matters on the $10,000 and $20,000 forgiveness had been resolved or not.
She's referring to the Biden administration's one-time student loan forgiveness proposal, a matter waiting for a Supreme Court ruling. Christina says you have until May 30th to apply for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program.
And so then that way, when student loans does resume, you're going to have a great low payment that you can afford based off your income and other relevant factors.
After decades of making payments, Javier was finally able to reach loan forgiveness with the help of MES. A huge relief as his son gets ready for college.
The whole weight just lifted off your shoulders. So for it to just be gone like that was just this great burden that was no longer there.
Sunday morning lows generally in the 60s, a little bit warmer along the coast where we will see temperatures in the 70s. And then as we look ahead to Sunday afternoon, a little bit warmer again along the coast, down in the valley, highs well into the 80s. Definitely more cloud coverage, a little bit cooler in central Texas with temperatures in the 70s. And it's going to be warm across West Texas. We'll see highs in the upper 80s. And it looks like a warm up is really coming to much of Texas as we come into the upcoming
I am most satisfied when I'm making a difference. I get to go to work every day and communicate with fellow Texans who understand that quality of life matters and the choices we make matter. And if they can trust me to share important information with them, then I am a happy camper. I'm Dr. Nicole Cross, anchor for Spectrum News 1.
People count on Spectrum to keep them connected to what matters most. Our commitment runs deep, with over 93,000 employees and a network almost 800,000 miles long. Our commitment? It's local too. We live and work in the communities we serve, cheer for the same teams, shop at the same stores, and work hard to deliver the best internet, TV, and mobile services. Because, well, we count on them too. We're Spectrum, connecting the places we all call home.
He's the one who noticed his mom's face was swollen. They're the ones she confided in about her change in vision and headache that wouldn't go away. He's the one who really listened when she said that something just didn't feel right. Too many women die from pregnancy-related complications each year in the U.S. It doesn't have to be that way. Most deaths are preventable. Know the warning signs. Hear her concerns.
An answer to one of society's biggest questions may be found in the youngest minds. Does poverty impact a child's development, their performance in school? The hypothesis that mothers who have access to cash raise babies with stronger brain development.
The basis of the baby's first year study is really to understand whether providing economic support would change children's trajectories.
Exploring your health, budgeting for brain development, available on all your favorite devices.
Well, imagine not having to get that flu shot every year. Researchers with the National Institutes of Health are enrolling folks in an early stage trial to test a universal flu vaccine. So doctors say if that vaccine is approved, you won't have to get one as often as you do now. Researchers plan to test the vaccine on about 50 people ages 18 to 49. They hope this will protect against a wide variety of flu strains and provide long-term immunity. Well, according to a new study, wearing a face mask in a doctor's office is still a good idea to avoid catching COVID. Researchers say while the national emergency for the pandemic is over, the virus is still out there. The study also found no major difference really in protection between surgical masks and N95 respirators in medical settings. Well, millions of Texans are set to lose their Medicaid coverage this year. That includes people like senior citizens, children, and those with disabilities. Lauren Kendrick spoke with a mom worried about coverage for her kids.
Rosa is one of hundreds of thousands who will receive a letter telling her she needs to reapply for her family's Medicaid coverage.
Al Medicaid ya lo tengo usando 5 años y vengo a la clínica porque aquí están mis hijos en el pediatra.
The thought of losing coverage for her 3 children is something she doesn't want to imagine, but is now a reality.
Cada año tienes que llevarlos a su chequeo y es algo bien necesario. Sería muy frustrante.
This is the first time since the pandemic that something like the unwinding of Medicaid, as it's being called, is happening. Jose Ibarra with Centro Med says Rosa is part of the first group of recipients to get a letter. He also says the folks in that group are likely to be taken off of Medicaid. They've either aged out or no longer qualified for their previous coverage.
There's over 400,000 in Bexar County that utilize Medicaid. Over 300,000 of those are children.
Leaving some wondering what's next.
Texas is #1 in both the uninsured rate for our state, but also total population of uninsured in the nation.
For Rosa and her family,
Quiero renovarlo lo más pronto posible para no perder los servicios.
she's making sure if she doesn't qualify for Medicaid that they've had for 5 years, that her children will be covered by another program. Jose says he understands it can be confusing, but urges it's important that people don't miss their deadline of 30 days after receiving the letter.
If you do that, you will keep your coverage while your application is being redetermined. If you miss the 30 days, you will lose your coverage and then your application just goes into the general queue.
Jose says the unwinding will likely take close to a year.
And meanwhile, a new report found the U.S. does not have enough doctors and nurses to treat the population. Thousands left the profession during the pandemic, and now the country needs more than 35,000 healthcare workers to fill those gaps. Well, Texas dentists are seeing their own shortage, with many dentists in need of more dental hygienists. J.J. Maldonado explains how a new program is working to bridge that gap.
They're one of the first ones that patients see
coming into the office and most offices.
Dentist Thomas Rockcliffe is talking about dental hygienists. If you've ever gone to the dentist, they're the people who check on your teeth.
They serve such an important role. They do a lot of health screening, a lot of oral cancer screenings.
He says as the Central Texas area grows, it's great for business. However, this also means more people are needed in the office, specifically dental hygienists.
Well, there's been a few different times we've actually posted online, and we've given up a couple of times actually. So I think this is about our third time posting online, and each time we've tried it for about a month and a half or two, and most of the time we haven't gotten any responses at all.
Dr. Rockcliffe says hiring new dental hygienists has come with some challenges.
You know, and I've spoken with numerous colleagues in the area, and there is a large shortage of hygienists right now.
Professor Michelle Landrum is the department chair at Austin Community College's dental hygiene program. She believes the reasons for the shortage is partially due to the COVID-19 pandemic, with many leaving the fields, and the other is the influx of people in Austin and the surrounding areas.
You know, the larger we get, the more dental offices we have, and the more hygienists we need to work in those dental offices.
ACC's program is one of the closest in the area, but is only capable of educating 18 to 26 students at a time each year. Sarai Anzaldo is one of the students. She started as a dental assistant and wanted more of a career in the profession.
When I had my son, I was really excited about going back to school because I wanted to make a better future for me and my son.
She hopes to get a job as a hygienist when she graduates. Professor Landrum says the region sees an annual average of 170 job openings a year. Dentists in the area are hoping to see an expansion of the ACC dental hygienist program as the need for hygienists continues to grow.
And coming up, meet one Texas woman who's seen it all and celebrated more than 100 birthdays. We'll catch up with Miss Elizabeth next.
The decisions elected officials make really have an impact on all of us. A big part of what we do on Capitol Tonight is break down the issues so that they're easily understood. We want to bring you a better understanding of local issues and the local impact of national issues with relevant, in-depth conversations that provide context for Texans in a balanced and informative way. Capitol Tonight, weeknights at 7 on Spectrum News 1.
With Spectrum Mobile, your mobile speeds are already amazingly fast, but now they've developed Speed Boost. And it's only possible because Spectrum Internet, Advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile all work together. It's like speed on top of speed on top of speed, or like taking a shot of espresso, like this one. Woo! Then chugging an energy drink. Yeah! And then being shot out of a cannon. Let's light this candle. Change my mind. Change my mind, change my mind. Get fast speeds on your mobile devices with Speed Boost, only from Spectrum Mobile.
I worked in retail for 19 years.
I'm widowed, I'm middle age.
Working on the rivers, long haul trucking, that's all I've ever known.
I knew it was time for me to be there.
Now I'm a computer programmer.
And I'm a software developer.
I am a software engineer.
This is the future, I'd say.
A thriving community is an informed community, and being able to play a role in bringing people the news is something that I take very seriously. There's just so many things to love about the state of Texas. Southern hospitality, great food. I love that there are so many different cultures celebrated. I want people to turn us on in the morning and feel like they've got the information they need to go out and conquer their day. I'm Alex Stockwell, anchor for Spectrum News 1.
Weather on the Ones, every 10 minutes. Also available on the Spectrum News app.
Good evening, Dallas, Fort Worth. Here is your Spectrum News in 90. Dispatcher Chelsea Duncan was recognized by Tarrant County for her efforts during a baby delivery over a 911 call. A concerned husband called saying his wife had just given birth. Chelsea helped the new mom while making sure to get information to the responding paramedics. The city of El Paso is considering extending 2 emergency ordinances to deal with the migrant situation. On Monday, the City Council will consider whether to continue authorizing extra personnel and resources to address the issue. And Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is investigating a second children's hospital for allegedly providing gender transition care for children. Paxton says he's now looking at allegations at both Texas Children's and Dell Children's hospitals. Now a hyperlocal look at your forecast.
Hey everybody, let's break down your Sunday weather-wise. You can see a lot of cloud coverage out there. Temperatures will be a little bit cool as well thanks to the clouds. We'll have highs generally in the mid to upper 70s for most locations. Now within the cloud coverage there could be a sprinkle or two, but nothing heavy or widespread. It is going to really get warm this week. We'll have your extended forecast at 41 past the hour.
In the long run, so-called artificial general intelligence really will replace a large fraction of human jobs. I would say that what we have right now is just a small sampling of the AI that we will build.
Well, the heads of several artificial intelligence companies testifying before Congress this past week about the status of AI in America. They want lawmakers to regulate the industry to avoid any ethical or safety risks. The head of ChatGPT proposed the formation of a U.S. or global agency that would license and monitor the most powerful AI systems. And while big tech continues to be a target for lawmakers in D.C., some small business owners here in Texas want them to back off. Blessing Uwachuku explains.
I don't typically add panelists in the database.
Monique Renee is back to work and is now playing catch up.
I was out for more than I thought I was going to be out for.
She went to the nation's capital, but it wasn't for a vacation.
I was up there advocating for the newer bills that are being passed in the Texas state for personalized ads and the effect on small business owners, Leaders Network as well.
The entrepreneur says she was one out of more than 6 dozen small business owners in North America picked by Meta, formerly known as Facebook, to represent the state. She's one of 4 from Texas and one of 2 from San Antonio.
We basically were there to let them know how Meta has impacted our business and the opportunities they provided us, much like the trip to Washington, D.C., where we get to be in front of these politicians and tell them our small business story and what we do every day and how bills affect us, right?
One of those bills,
this is it,
is the American Data Privacy and Protection Act. It was sponsored and introduced in 2022 by New Jersey Congressman Frank Pallone Jr.
Data is big tech's most valuable commodity, and by collecting far more user data than they need, big tech platforms can use, share, and sell information to generate billions of dollars in revenue.
Monique says that collected data is also how her company, Sassy and Smart Network, can have a fighting chance at surviving.
It's a non-traditional marketing agency, and so we do use a lot of personalized ads. We do target specific genres and demographics, and if we weren't able to do that, it would really disrupt our business flow.
Representative Pallone's bill passed out of the Energy and Commerce Committee in 2022.
Our legislation establishes baseline data minimization requirements, ensuring that companies only collect, process, and transfer data necessary to provide a service. And it provides heightened privacy protections for children and teenagers. So I think it's time to make this legislation the law of the land.
Monique says she hopes that never happens.
The mission is not accomplished yet just because the work isn't done. We're just starting. We're just advocating at this point. We're only a few amount, 4 people out of Texas to do this. And that's why it's so important to follow up and continue spreading this message on not just the current bills on the table, but many more as the years and months go by.
Well, if you missed Willie Nelson's big 90th birthday celebration last month, you'll get another chance next month. Willie Nelson at 90 will be shown in theaters June 11th with an encore June 13th and 14th. Willie's concert was recorded at the Hollywood Bowl over 2 nights, and it featured special performances by Snoop Dogg, George Strait, and Miranda Lambert. Well, another celebration happened recently. Of course, we're talking about Mother's Day, but just because it may have come and gone, that doesn't mean we can't honor Mom all year round. Here are 104 reasons why. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, then Elizabeth Morris has stories that'll last a lifetime. Her own story began when she was born more than a century ago.
1918, November the 28th, Thanksgiving Day, 11 o'clock in the morning, just in time for lunch.
Elizabeth is 104 years young. She lives at the Brookdale Assisted Living Facility. She gave up her own home when she was 99, but not the bragging rights. When she turned 100, she got this letter from the governor. When she turned 103, she got this letter from the governor.
I've got a letter from Trump, and I've got a letter from Biden. An honor to wish you a happy 104th birthday.
She keeps the letters and presidential pictures next to her chair, mementos of a life well lived, a life that also had its ups and downs. Elizabeth's husband died young, leaving her to raise 3 sons.
It was hard on them when they were little. I decided I'd just move back to Austin because that's where I was born and raised. So we moved back here from El Paso. I had to just go on.
Elizabeth spent years in the construction business to support her family. Part of her job was handing out paychecks to workers at the job sites. And that was okay till one day things got a little uncomfortable with those paychecks.
They told me I'd have to climb up the ladder and give it to them, and I said, I'm sorry, I'll take your checks back to the office. And they said, okay, we're not going to come down. I said, I'm not going to come up.
And even with the busy work schedule, Elizabeth always made time for her 3 boys.
I went to ball games on Thursday nights, so sometimes I think I just can't go to another ball game. They were on the Little League or something, you know, they'd practice every Thursday night.
Was it different back then raising kids than now?
Oh, yes. Well, the schools were just different. I mean, you could take them up there and they'd sit in there. You can bring them in, and I'd always take them into their rooms. Then I'd go, instead of letting them run out to the car, I'd go get them.
Elizabeth's kids are past retirement age now, and like so many years ago as a single mother, she still has a support system. It's her family and her faith that keep her moving.
But I can get up pretty good. As long as I can go, I'm going. And then I've been very blessed. I have had a very good life.
And still ahead, it's been a wet couple of weeks for parts of Texas. We'll take a look at how it's affecting farmers across the state after the break. Keep it here.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, and at times powerful, and it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News 1, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm, Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News 1. And get your weather anytime on the Spectrum News app.
So you guys have been in business like a really long time.
That's right. And we've been offering one-size-fits-all solutions the whole time.
The whole time.
You're just gonna have to accept it.
Yeah, accept it.
No, you don't. At Spectrum Enterprise, we design solutions around your needs for success on your terms. Because we believe technology only works if it works for you. So go ahead. Be unreasonable.
In quarantine and coming out of quarantine, we've been feeling pretty weird. Normal? What even is normal right now? We have the opportunity to define a new normal. I wrote Weirdos to say that there is no normal anymore. Talk to someone and start the conversation.
Spectrum News 1 is Texas strong. It's not just the Friday night lights, the skies you need to see to believe. It's the people, the communities, the character. That's what makes us Texans. From our experienced boots-on-the-ground teams to a new perspective on the news that matters to Dallas-Fort Worth, we bring you the inspiring stories that leave a lasting impact across our communities. It's what makes us proud to call Texas home.
Hey everybody, Jake Parrish here with your weather forecast. Thanks for stopping by. We had some decent rain over the last week or so, and drought conditions improved, particularly in East Texas. West Texas, not so much. You can still see we need rainfall, and believe it or not, over the next week or so, this is a location that probably has the best probability of picking up some rainfall. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Futurecast Sunday morning around 7. Notice some scattered rain showers across the hill country and kind of flirting down into the valley as well. Extreme East Texas, pretty quiet, just some cloud coverage. Notice as we head into the afternoon, that activity begins to wind down, but then dry lines setting up across West Texas with a broken line of scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then that activity begins to wind down as we look ahead to Monday morning, maybe a spotty shower in East Texas, nothing heavy or widespread. And then Monday afternoon, again, I think West Texas will see another round of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. So again, over the next week or so, West Texas has the best chance of picking up some precipitation. Central and East Texas, it looks like definitely more spotty in nature. And I think a lot of that activity will be kind of limited to the midday and afternoon hours, early evening in that max heating time of the day. And then we should see temperatures start to warm up as well for the upcoming work week. And that actually, I think, will head into the upcoming long holiday weekend as well. So 3-day forecast looking ahead to Sunday, say San Antonio, maybe a few showers, temperatures in the upper 70s. Same thing in Austin and up into Dallas as well. A little warmer out in El Paso. Slight chance of a shower thunderstorm in the afternoon. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s. Corpus, mid 80s, maybe a spotty shower, nothing heavy or widespread. And same story down in the valley. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, isolated shower, and afternoon highs in the upper 80s.
As Texas continues to expand, experts say we're losing more of the state's natural landscape, like our trees. That can cause temperatures to rise, especially in big cities. Veronica Barriga explains.
The bark exfoliates as it grows. You can
Mark
see
Bird's appreciation for Mother Nature is undeniable.
and the flow of its
For the last 13 years, Mark has worked as an arborist for the city of San Antonio,
all year round,
helping the region maintain the health and beauty of its trees. He is one of dozens of Texans gathered at the Regional Urban Forestry Conference
of resources for that area.
there to make a case for the trees and our urban forests.
promote the beauty of it, the benefits that we get from it, and how we maintain it and continue to grow it and understand how valuable it is.
As Texas cities continue to grow and develop at a rapid pace, Bird says it has been challenging to see mature trees get knocked down for urban growth.
Whenever we do build and trees have to be removed, we're able to replant responsibly and restore canopy.
Jackie Randall with Bare Branches Alliance says doing so is vital as many more of our cities are becoming urban heat islands.
That means that our area will continue to warm. So the less trees we have, the hotter and hotter we're going to get. More heat means less water. It makes this space harder for us to live.
The urban heat island effect occurs when cities replace a natural landscape with pavement, buildings, and surfaces that retain heat. The Environmental Protection Agency says in addition to hotter temperatures, this also causes air pollution and more heat-related illness and death.
In order for a healthy community to be, people have to take care of each other and their environment.
In fact, federal leaders are stepping up, trying to help advocates like Jackie find solutions.
There is $1.5 billion from the federal government, the Inflation Reduction Act, that is focused specifically on urban forestry.
Like I mentioned, the Inflation Reduction Act is giving out $1 billion for green spaces across the country. The Texas A&M Forest Service is set to receive more than $21 million. That'll be for things like increasing urban forest and improving air and water quality. Every Texan knows the weather can change in an instant. And while it can be a nuisance for a lot of folks, those changes can also be extremely challenging for Texas farmers. Gianella Giglino has more on that.
Lavender is considered a drought-tolerant plant, but quite honestly, they did not factor Texas into that equation.
The Levitt family has been growing lavender in central Texas for the last 5 years. It was their way of opening up their farm to the community.
We just took a leap of faith. We didn't really know what we were doing.
Their biggest challenge running a lavender farm has been managing the Texas weather, with not only the drought, but the cold.
We got a very bad freeze. And it got down to 7 degrees and it wiped my whole field out. So the next spring I spent 8 months replanting the whole field, and everything did great till the next winter, and then early January we had a hard freeze and it wiped my whole field out again.
Despite losing every lavender plant multiple times, they kept trying. The Levitts say even with April being the wettest month in a year and a half, challenges in weather still persist.
The challenge here in Texas is the extremity. You know, one day it's 80, the next day it's 28, and then the day after that it's 60, and the plants are just in shock with that. Like if it would stay under 32 for a month, which it will never do in Texas, the plants would probably go dormant. But it's this up and down that really hurts them badly.
And what keeps their lavender field operating is their store, where they sell lavender everything.
So, and they sell really fast. It's all just lavender essential oil.
The products are their own, and they also outsource from other Texas farms. They say that is how lavender farmers in Texas help each other out.
Kind of, we're like a hub. Because we just can't produce it all ourselves.
And despite the hardships, they continue to grow.
Coming up, we'll speak with a group going the extra mile to save forgotten pets in Texas. Keep it here to find out more.
Sunday morning lows generally in the 60s, a little bit warmer along the coast where we will see temperatures in the 70s. And then as we look ahead to Sunday afternoon, a little bit warmer again along the coast, down in the valley, highs well into the 80s. Definitely more cloud coverage, a little bit cooler in central Texas with temperatures in the 70s. And it's going to be warm across West Texas. We'll see highs in the upper 80s. And looks like a warm up is really coming to much of Texas as we come into the upcoming
The strength of Texas is in its many voices and unique perspectives. Every Sunday, join host Carla Leal on In Focus Texas. Education, economy, immigration, and more. Balanced and respectful discussion of the serious matters impacting Texas from experts across the state.
We take a closer look at the issues in your community.
In Focus Texas, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Spectrum News 1. Available on all your favorite devices, exclusively on Spectrum.
I won. I won.
Want the speed to finally defeat your mortal enemy?
Oh, there he is! I won!
Only Spectrum gives you Speed Boost for the fastest wireless speeds in the palm of your hand. Now only $29.99, and your next line is free. Only with Spectrum Mobile.
What if you had to choose between fixing the roof over your head
and putting food on the table? What if that leak led to mold growing in your home? What if you no longer had a safe place to call home? Help Rebuilding Together make repairs for our neighbors who have lost jobs and have to make those difficult choices. Text REBUILD to 484848.
We are connected, engaged, from the moment we rise. We move. We adjust. We learn, explore, relax, and grow together so we're ready to build a better tomorrow. Stay informed throughout your day with the Spectrum News app, exclusively for Spectrum customers.
Hi, welcome back. Well, Texas is home to millions of people with different abilities, but our architecture doesn't always reflect that. Amber Hughes introduces us to a group of students working to change that.
Nearly 8% of Americans have visual impairments, but often their disability isn't considered in the architectural design process. Wendy Walker has lived in San Antonio 5 years, using this cane to get around.
I was born sighted and I started going blind as a teenager.
But being completely blind hasn't stopped Wendy from pursuing a career in cybersecurity, although navigating unfamiliar spaces can sometimes be difficult.
Simple designs, they mean well, but they're not executed properly. Elevators don't have sound or a braille markings, so you don't know what floor you're going to.
The design has to emphasize orientation and mobility.
UTSA architecture students have collabed with the American Institute of Architects and Disability SA. The assignment, design a mock health center for the visually impaired.
I really took it seriously to create spaces that are inclusive, they're functional.
Nearly 20 million Americans have visual impairments, 700,000 plus in Texas. Although this is just an undergrad design project, it's informative as these students start their architecture careers.
They will be required to work with clients who have these kinds of needs. They need to be sensitive and thoughtful in their solutions.
Melanie Coffin with Disability SA says projects like this can help create more inclusive spaces in the future because it can be more costly to adapt designs for people with disabilities on the back end.
Really focusing on that universal design aspect and how do we create and cultivate a sense of belonging by making sure that we are planning to include everybody from the start.
Students suggested tinted windows, drop handrails, and textured walls. Wendy says she's just grateful the students thought enough to consider what could make her life easier.
Just a simple thing that you never think of. So you just touch it and you know that you're going the right direction.
Well, Texas is #1 in the country for animal shelter deaths. According to state animal shelter stats in 2021, more than 60,000 cats and dogs were killed in Texas. And here with us today to talk more about that is Cynthia Carrico, Marketing Director with the nonprofit Angels of the Streets. Thanks for being with us.
Hi,
Appreciate it.
how are you?
Who are our special guests here?
This is Big Mama and this is Moose.
So Big Mama's the little one?
Yes.
Okay. And this is so tell us a little bit about what the group does.
Well, we are a senior sanctuary. We are a nonprofit, so we've opened a special spot in Livingston where we have we're trying to build a building for the bigger babies that we have that are seniors, because some of them have been returned to us for health issues from their people, can't take care of them, whatever. Yeah. And it's a part of our our agreement that if they can't, then they send them back.
Okay.
And we take them back and they stay with us until either they can be readopted or their time ends.
Okay.
So.
And these guys are rescues?
Yes.
Okay. And so some of these dogs, they come, I mean, do you find them on the streets? Do people have to, like you say, give them back? They have to?
A lot of times, so I catch a lot of the overflow from Angels of the Streets as she's, gets overwhelmed with as many seniors as she has. So I'll catch the overflow. So they'll call us and she'll call me and say, hey, can you, you have room for one more? And it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
Puppies, I love puppies to death, but they're a lot of work.
They're a lot of work.
And a lot of people don't want them.
Well, but also as well, that you guys specialize in helping the senior animals find homes. And what are some of the benefits of adopting an older pet?
You get dogs that like this are laid back. They're easygoing. They're already pretty much have training. They've been in homes already. When you get puppies you have to constantly, like toddlers.
Yeah.
They're into everything. They're chewing up your shoes.
Yeah, they're babies.
Their purses. And the kids' toys. They're pooping everywhere, pooping in spots you don't see.
Yeah.
And so with the older dogs, they're more of a kind of a geriatric, I guess you could say. Like
they've lived life.
Right, they've already, and they're appreciative to everything.
Yeah.
Puppies are just more of a flamboyant, just let's go and do.
Right.
Because they don't know. They don't know the horrible life that they started out with.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And if, Angel of the Streets, again, they help thousands of animals find their way into forever homes. If you'd like to donate or for more information, go to the website there on your screen. And that'll do it for us for now on Spectrum News 1. I'm Todd Boatwright. Stay safe. We will see you again soon.
We have one mission, and that is to serve our community.
And that's what we're doing here in Dallas-Fort Worth is we're covering people's stories. We're telling a person's story in a way that's relatable to who they are.
It's my responsibility to know the issues here in Texas, but also, more importantly, to know who it affects.
We want to make sure that you know what's going on in politics and weather and entertainment. You're going to get storytelling about the Dallas-Fort Worth community. Your evening on Spectrum News 1. Weeknights starting at 5 p.m. Central.
Spectrum Mobile is the nation's fastest growing mobile provider. And now is the time to switch. Because now, when you buy one unlimited line for $29.99, you get your next line free. Visit spectrummobile.com/unbeatable or call 844-696-2999 to save big today. Spectrum Mobile's got you covered with reliable coast-to-coast service and nationwide 5G included in every plan. And with a Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line, you get the freedom to connect whenever you want with unlimited talk, text, and data. All with no added taxes, no hidden fees, and no contracts. So get one unlimited line for just $29.99 and another unlimited line free for 12 months. Switch to Spectrum today. Visit spectrummobile.com/unbeatable, a Spectrum store, or call 844-696-2999 today.
Please welcome tonight's presentation.
When I grow up.
I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck.
I don't want to borrow a lot for an education.
And then not know what to do with it.
When I grow up, I don't want to be paid less.
I want to know how to provide for my family and invest in my community.
When I grow up, I just want things to be different.
At Junior Achievement, we promote